Good morning, Colleen. How you doing?
Hey, Joe. Good morning to you. I see you are in a different location today.
Yeah, I'm on my 3-day kind of solo work retreat, which I'm super excited about. Staying about 2 miles away from my home at a hotel in right in Portland. But away from, the craziness of the home and all the life stuff and just focusing on some me time and some business time.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's been really awesome. I woke up, rolled out of bed, went to the hotel gym, had a cup of coffee on the way back up. It was bliss. It was awesome.
Good for you. I
Yeah.
can't wait to hear more about it.
Yeah. Tell me what's going on with you. How was last week? You tweeted about something that sounds super exciting of that you're building. I want to hear all about that. How's it going?
Okay, so I have a few updates.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had talked last week about me really leaning into basically go to market AI automations for businesses 500K to about 3 to 5 million. And so what's interesting is there's so much hype right now. Like there's just such a hype cycle. If you get on Twitter, people are talking about what they're building. And so I started actually building some of the things that people are talking about with all this hype. The first thing I built was this automatic SEO generation machine agent. We'll just call it an
Mm-hmm.
agent. And so what it is I deployed OpenClaw to Hetzner, and then I have the OpenClaw agent automatically connect Keywords Everywhere, Google Search Console, and obviously Claude in order to every week do keyword research for me, pull my Google Search Console data, and write me content briefs.
Okay. Sounds awesome. Define all of those terms for me. I feel like I'm
Right?
living under a rock with both
Feel like that's
advertising.
cool, but I also
It
don't
sounds really cool, but I'm also no idea what you just said. So the
know.
first thing you
Okay.
said was we talked about Hetzner last week. That's like a hosting
Yes.
platform. You have like a VPS or just like a portion of a box
Yes.
somewhere. Uh, if you've been living under a rock, you don't know what OpenClaw is, but give us a brief overview of what OpenClaw is to you and how you're using it, and like why it's
Yeah,
different than like just running Claude on your machine.
so to me, I think of OpenClaw as the glue between your APIs. I think of it as glue,
Mm,
and I think of it as doing something on a schedule. So in more layman's terms, I think about it as the thing that does things for me. So I don't have to go prompt it. Like if I want to use Claude to check my Google Search Console, I can do that, but I have to open Claude, I have to ask it to go, and I have to ask it to check. And
yeah.
so the OpenClaw instance will run all of that on a cron job. So it does it every night. Well, I only do it once a week, but it does it every
Hmm.
Sunday night for me, and it will deliver me the results in Slack where I already live. So I think of OpenClaw as the way to get the information delivered to me, only set it up once. It's kind of like set it up and forget it.
So it's almost your a push versus pull approach with
Yeah.
you open Claude, you're pulling data when you demand it, and Claude is just
Yeah.
like, hey, or open Claude is like, I'm going to push you data on this schedule, and it's got access to all the things, so it can just act as like a virtual assistant for you and do all this awesome stuff.
Yes, that's how I'm thinking of it.
Cool.
And this is the first OpenClaw automation I've written. So, Keywords Everywhere is an API. It's actually a Chrome extension as well. It's very inexpensive, but it's a keyword search tool. So, it will give you the cost per click, it will give you search volume for specific keywords. And then Google Search Console will pull in my data for simple file upload so I can see how my content is performing. And then the best part of this so far is the AI analysis, and the AI analysis will tell me where my gaps are. So for example, it pulled out to me, it said you are getting a lot of views for this particular search term. I forget what it was, but you're not getting a lot of
Hmm.
clicks. So you need to go to that page and optimize that page and figure out why no one is clicking through on your page.
So not just giving you a report, you're getting actionable insights that you can do instead of just like, here's the stuff. It's like, do this thing to improve click through rate.
Exactly. And so right now I
Mm,
pay for a service. I pay for, I think it's like SEO bot AI or something. And this can so easily replace this, right? So the next step in this pipeline would be, and now it writes me content briefs. It can just write the
Mm,
entire piece of content, and then I can auto post it to my CMS without me having to be involved. And so that'll be the next subscription I cancel once I get this done. Is I'll just let my little OpenClaw bot write my content for me.
yeah. I love the first half of this personally. I
Hmm.
um I use Fathom Analytics, and they just recently announced a Google Search Console like plugin where you can connect your Google Search Console and see Search Console results right in your Fathom Analytics dashboard. And I
Hmm.
realized that for a term that I thought I had locked down, I have a ton of views and so few click-throughs. Like
Hmm.
even like a lower percentage than other terms. And I would love to know how to fix that in a way that wasn't manual, because I don't even know what I'm doing in that type of situation where I'm just like, hey, go look at my search console, go look at my content, tell me where my gaps are, where I need the pages I need to change, and then like hand it over to me to finish the rest. So
Yeah.
resonates really well with me. I'm not on the automating content generation train yet, but giving me a prompt or like ideas of what to change, I would love to, selfishly use that myself.
Well, so here's what's cool. So I put a little video on LinkedIn, and I had someone who is a marketer who I know reach out,
Hmm.
and they were like, "Hey, can you make this for me? Like, I want this." And I was
Hey,
like, "Okay,
there you
yes,
go.
I can. I can make this for you." The only thing I've noticed, the only
Hmm.
thing I've noticed is if you're using OpenClaw, you are probably not supposed to use your Claude Max plan. And I burned through $50 of API credits in like 2 days. And I was like, this is not sustainable. Like, this is not going to work.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think like practically speaking, you have to, when we have Claude Max, we don't think about the cost. Or I have Claude Max, I never
no.
think about the cost of tokens because
Hmm.
I'm not hitting them.
Hmm.
But when I'm paying via the API, I notice. And so in terms of like and that's why I haven't set up the final step of this, which is content generation to my CMS, because I think it's going to be too expensive. Like, I think what I'm going
Hmm.
to do, this is only week 2. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably be pulling out the content briefs, using Claude Max to write the content, and then just putting it on my CMS myself. I'm not sure yet, but the cost is
Yeah.
going to become prohibitive is my only concern here.
I do wonder if you can use a cheaper model for some of the less deep thinky tasks. Like if you used
Yes.
Sonnet or however you pronounce it for the fetching of the API, like that's deterministic practically. You could have Claude or even like write scripts that will do it for you, and then you're only have Claude Max write the script that does the thing on your local machine and then like put it on OpenClaw instead of having OpenClaw do all of the manual scraping like itself,
Yeah.
to just like maybe free up some tokens. Because yeah, the max subscription at $100 a month or $200 a month is pretty much unlimited tokens compared to API costs.
Yeah. I mean, those API costs are no joke. So, so I'm
Yeah.
thinking about that in context. So, what's interesting about this is I'm setting this up for this other company,
Hmm.
and you have to think a little more deeply about it because this company, their marketing department, like no one is
Hmm.
using Claude Code, right? So I can't. It's not like working with you where I'm like, oh, I'm going to set this automation up for you, and then you have to make sure it works, right? They don't know what
Hmm.
Hetzner is. They don't care. Like they just want it to work. So there's the
Yeah.
kind of like business logistics of how do I set this up for them as cheaply and effectively as possible so they are happy, but also I'm going to have to maintain it. So just thinking through like some of that stuff is
I
interesting.
saw. Yeah, I saw someone post on Twitter, and I think it maybe was Jesse from Bento, and it
Mhm.
was like everyone keeps forgetting what the last S in SaaS stands for. And it's like
That's funny.
the first S, software, is easy. It's the service part that is still difficult, and maintaining it and making sure that it continues to work after you've disengaged or after you've sold it is not easier than it used to be. It's perhaps harder because you know less of the code. That resonated really hard where it's, and he's like been big on uh SaaS is not dead. Like we're just figuring out what's next, and no one wants to maintain software, which I agree with. But that last S is like exactly what you're running into now. Like how do you make sure that this client can continue to use what you've built for them, not only post engagement, but like on the weekends or the time zone difference when
Right.
you're not around to babysit it. And
Right.
that's still hard.
Yeah. I thought of you because a couple weeks ago I mentioned that I replaced my N8N workflow with a custom script that receives webhooks from Zoom and does all this stuff. And then
Hmm.
I got to my email this morning and there was an email from Zoom basically saying your webhooks are broken. And I was like,
Ah,
oh. To your point
have to
from a
go
couple weeks
fix
ago,
it.
though, with all of this stuff, it's like maintaining the software is certainly a real burden. Like it's a real thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, okay, so that is the SEO stuff, which I'm working
Hmm.
on. And the other thing that I'm working on, which different company, which I'm pretty excited about, is ads. Okay, so
Ooh.
I've got one of the people I'm working with, and he saw one of the videos about how you could generate meta ads at scale and generate custom landing pages. And so we're working on that together. Well, really, I'm working on it. So I'm building a it's actually really cool. Like this is something I have been talking about playing with forever. And like I don't have $20,000 a month to spend on ads, but my clients do. So I'm building like basically it's going to be meta ads at scale. And what it is right now is I want a completely AI generated pipeline. Right now, you still have to do the creative separately because the Gemini 2.5 API gave me a terrible image. But basically, you
Hmm.
can generate like 20 to 40 variations of an ad, put the ads on Meta, measure the conversions, see how they're doing, and theoretically react in near real time. So that's what the system's going to be. So that's what I've started working on this week.
And I know very little about ads, but even less about meta ads. Are those going in as A/B/X tests, or are they just like, here's 40 different ads that have the same campaign, and then you're measuring all of that with this tool?
The latter. So for right now, it's not going to be like a true A/B. It's going to
Hmm.
be more here are 40 different ads. I think we're going to start with 20. Like what I think I want to do
Yeah.
is 10 of one image, 10 of
Hmm.
another image, and then each one with the different heading and subheading. So 20 different creatives, which I'm spinning up with AI with this new little thing I'm building, and run those, and then we'll see
Hmm.
which ones perform the best, and then we'll double down on what's performing, right? So it's supposed to be a
Yeah.
quick way to identify the highest performing ads and double down on the highest performing ads.
Very cool.
Oh, yeah. What I was going to say what's cool though is I'm also going to hook into his GitHub repository and
Hmm.
spin up custom landing pages. So there's going to be 40 landing pages
Nice.
that have the image and the header and the subheader that match what you see in the ad because that's been shown to have a higher conversion rate.
Very cool. Yeah, that little insight there is something that is worth worth you building it instead of someone who has no idea what they're doing with ads. Like just knowing that
Yeah.
little part of that it has to be consistent, which sounds obvious, but I would have just thrown it to the same landing page with different UTM params and like called it a day. Um, I'm very curious as that fleshes out what you will end up using to decide which one is performing best.
Hmm.
There's a lot of algorithms and stuff in that space to decide, like, statistically, is this significant changes, or they only got 100 users, but 20 of them viewed this thing and all that. So making sure that they get to scale, because for 20 ads, you need a lot of scale to find a statistically significant number. And I'll be curious to hear like how those numbers work out for your client and how you're approaching that.
Yeah, and I think it's very much going to be a learning experience in that I am
Hmm.
not super experienced with meta ads. Like I am learning as I am doing. And so yeah, the real question, I feel like the real question with all of this, with the SEO stuff, with the automated content, with the ads, the real question is does it provide business value?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can do all this cool stuff with AI. Yeah, I can build you pipelines, is there real measurable business value to doing this with AI?
Hmm. Yeah. I think about your project that you're talking about right now, and perhaps the value that you get out of all of this is that you really like the way that these ads look. And the whole
Right.
project is scrapped, and it's like, cool, now I know what the design directive is for these ads, and like I'm going to use that moving forward. And AI offers you that because you could build it so fast and then come to that conclusion so much more quickly than having to manually code, all of this. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's just so much, I don't want to call it grift, but crap online of pipelines to build pipelines to build pipelines to spend tokens, and so little of it is actually delivering any sort of benefit to anyone but the person who's crunching those tokens and Anthropic or OpenAI.
Right.
And
Right.
and bridging that gap, like, yeah, we're in the super early stages of it all, so that is where it starts. But whoever can bridge that gap is going to do really well, I think. And I know I haven't figured it out. We're all figuring out together, and I'm excited to see what that first real thing is.
Yeah, I agree. Because I am focusing on go to market automations.
Mhm,
But
mhm,
literally, what I am doing right now is someone will come to me with a specific problem, and I will go find one of these crazy people, on YouTube that who knows if they're
mhm.
really doing it, right? That's the other thing. If they're YouTube famous,
Yeah,
like they're making money from YouTube, not from these automations they're building.
totally.
And I will actually walk through and be like, can I really build this? And what does that look like? And
Mhm.
then of course, like, does it drive value? I mean, the Google Search Console thing is interesting because someone pointed out, like, not to me specifically, just in general, someone was like, now we can do all the things we knew we should be doing, but we weren't doing, like checking Google Search Console. But also, you weren't doing it before and it worked out fine. So does it matter? Like, we don't know.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
um, so
I I
I don't
I
know.
love that angle on it though too. It's like, you should be doing this stuff. Let me automate
Mhm.
it for you.
Yes.
And every client that you deal with is automating a different part of that playbook that you're giving them essentially. It's like, oh, actually, we already have an expert who does ads and Google Search Console, but we also don't have anyone who's writing or generating ideas. So we need you to do that. And it's like you build a perfect
Yeah.
pipeline for them to do exactly that. And then you have the opposite with another client where it's like, we have no idea what a Google Search Console is. So you build a pipeline for that. And because everything you build is custom, they are exactly what your client needs, not what you think they need, or
Yes.
are just like coming up with ideas. And as always, the end goal, right? Extract it into something that you can sell as a SaaS, which I feel like you're already coming up with more ideas in the past 2 weeks than you've talked about in the past 2 years
And
of us talking. So that's really
I know.
exciting.
It is really exciting. The thing I was thinking too, and I think you brought this up last week, is people no longer want this is the thing that's tricky, and this is why I think people are
Hmm.
coming to me and just wanting me to do this for them. People are
Yeah.
so tired of signing into a third party apps. Like, they
Mm,
wanted to live where they live. And
interesting.
so I don't know what to do with that information, but to your point, like, the ideas are going. There's so much here. Um, I have one more customer, whatever, who has come to me, person
Hmm.
who has approached me with a real business about doing cold email with AI.
Mm,
And
yeah.
I think I'm gonna be good. Like, I told that person, like, I have to do these other ones first, but, I think I'm gonna be really good at that because 'cause I'm very opinionated, right? Like, I think we talked about this last week, but I'm very opinionated about what cold email should look like, who it should hit, at what cadence, and
Hmm.
so that's a big there's just, like, a lot of opportunity here, but the key, and this is why I like the framing of what I'm doing in my AI consulting, is
Hmm.
working with real people, with real businesses. And I'm not going to be building any products until I can show that we have created value, like real, measurable, exciting value for someone.
What is your long term, like end of the year, early next year split of revenue? Is it consulting? Is it product? Is it 50/50? Is it a mix? Like where do you see, if you could be there in, let's just say, 12 months, what would consider a success?
I would love to be 50% product revenue. Now,
50/50. Yeah.
please remember, I don't even have a product. Like,
That's
so
fine.
I guess I can't, I mean, I have Simple
That's
File
fine.
Upload, right? And that still makes
Mhm.
money. But um, the thing is, and this is why I haven't started a new product business yet. I mean,
Mhm.
it's obviously crazy right
Mhm.
now, like our
Yeah.
entire world. And all of my ideas are in this AI marketing automation space. Like if this ad thing works, I could totally spin this. I have this whole vision for it. I was messing around with yesterday where like I put in my website, then I go to Claude and pull a list of competitors. Then you can hit the Meta Ads API and get their existing ads, which I didn't even know that. That's
Hmm.
very exciting. Yeah,
Wow.
so you can see what ads everyone is running. So I was doing that yesterday. Get their existing ads. Then you can use Nano Banana to create your ads based off of what's performing for them. And then you can spit up 40 variations. Then you can create campaigns on Meta. Then you can get like, think about that as a system. That'd be
Yeah,
amazing, right?
that's pretty wild.
Then you get the feedback, like real time feedback from the Meta API about how your ads are performing and you can modify them. Like all of that could be done without human interference, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that
I
sounds like
love that. I love that in a sense of a product that is they're not also just gonna like spin it up once and then they're done with it. Like they can do a 1 month subscription and then churn because they got all the value out of it. A lot of the value is the monitoring, and you can have those ads dynamically update, like regenerating
mhm,
images that are closer to what what performed well, and continuing to improve. And as long as at the end of the day, like number goes up, you are continuing to deliver, which is so hard for marketers, measurable value, like
measurable.
clicks to your website. And then once it's there, that's your problem as the as the founder or whatever. But like I will get you clicks to your website, you take it from there.
Yes. But that idea, which again,
Hmm.
I'm literally building, I'm getting paid to build that right now.
Yeah.
It has no, like, that idea is just another AI marketing tool, and it doesn't
Hmm.
really have a strong moat. It doesn't really
No.
have a strong, like, that's not something I'm going to build unless I find like a very specific niche group of businesses that want it and I can tailor it exactly to them, because that's just another like AI product. Just like there's, I guess what I'm trying to say is AI marketing products are a dime a
Hmm.
dozen. They're
Yeah.
all kind of mediocre and the competition is fierce.
Hmm.
And so you have to, if you're going to bootstrap, you have to have a unique angle.
I think that I agree. Well, not I think. I agree. And having a moat right now is becoming harder and harder to maintain. Especially, I just read recently that I think one of the tools is now doing Meta ad integration or like Google ad
I
integration in a
saw
way.
that.
And
Yeah,
it's
there's
like, is
some
that your
something.
entire moat? Like right there. But what I always try to keep in mind is that we are so in this bubble of, especially Twitter, of
Yeah.
like everyone on Twitter is building the next AI thing. And it's a lot to do with dev and it's a lot to do with marketing. And they're all compounding on each other of, I'm selling this to other developers or technical founders of SaaS businesses. And it's like, if you break out of that and sell to hairdressers
Mhm.
or like salon or like local landscapers, like you're talking Facebook ads here, and you can get into one of those markets where they aren't using Claude, they've never heard of it, they don't even care that it's AI, they just know that they're getting better advertising. Like that I feel like is going to become the new mode. It's the networking or the reach of the founder, because those folks don't have any idea what could be done, and you can provide them with like, yeah, drop $100 a week into this and get $200 out. It's like all of a sudden that's the value, you know?
Yeah. I totally agree. I just find that, so that's my thing, right? Like so I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
this now,
Mm-hmm.
but how do you break out, to your point? How do I break into other markets?
Yeah.
I don't
Who
know
knows?
yet, but that is the question.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
It's exciting. It's exciting. It sounds
yeah.
like there's work to be done. There's research to be had. I'm still excited for it personally because I would love to know where my gaps are on my website in terms of content.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, when it's available, I will definitely be one of the first beta testers.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah,
So that was my week. It was really good.
very
And
cool.
this week is paid work. It's another YouTube video, probably about what I've done with the AI generated ads, because there's a couple
Mm.
like tricky things in there just to
Hmm.
show where I am with that and what you could
Mhm.
do, common person could
Mhm.
do to play around with it. Maybe. I think that's it. So yeah, so that's my week.
Is
Those
your
are my
son writing your
plans.
script again, or is that
Not this week.
did you
He
fire him?
did tell me I did better. Okay, so this is one
Hey!
more funny thing about
Yeah.
my YouTube adventure here.
Mhm.
So he did tell me I did better this week because I remembered
Okay.
to link the original video. He was very
Mhm.
proud of me. But I made a short and I put it on LinkedIn. And one of my friends texted me and he was like, Colleen, you did the millennial pause. And I was like, what's the millennial
The
pause?
millennial pause, go on. What's
Because
that?
I get like, okay, you can see me, right? Because I'm on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
I start the camera, I do. Like I do that. Like I stop if you're
Mm.
listening to this. Basically, I like look around, then I look at the camera, then I smile, then I start. So there's like a solid
Oh,
second
it's the
before I
wasted
start
second.
talking. I
Yeah.
know, I know. And then once a video's on LinkedIn, you can't edit it. Like you
Huh,
can't, you're committed.
interesting. I
You
didn't know that.
can't replace, yeah. So you can, because you know how you could go back to edit LinkedIn posts, I think, and you can edit them. You cannot swap out the video. Because then I cut it.
Mm.
I was like, oh my gosh, I got to cut this out. Because
Yeah.
like millennial pause. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
So embarrassing for me.
Oh my god.
I cut it out and I couldn't replace it on LinkedIn, so it's just gonna live on LinkedIn forever.
Eh,
So anyway,
that's
that's
fine. Now you know for next time.
now I know for this week to cut it a
Yeah.
little bit better.
And
Yeah,
when
so
I edit
I'm
this podcast, there will be no pause at the beginning. We will just jump right
no
into the
pause.
content.
Right. Oh man. Yeah, so that was my week. Pretty good. How about you? Tell us about you have some exciting news.
Yeah. So I have like two big things outside of the little solo work vacation retreat thing that I'm on now. I had planned this a few weeks ago to get some ideas out of my head and start building. And what it ended up being is more of I have this idea that I have been building, and the last 24 hours have been me building, like deep building. But before I get into that, I had that article that we had talked about last week about what I've learned from launching mobile apps, and it got
Mhm.
picked up by a couple of like newsletters and stuff in the Ruby community. It was on Ruby Weekly this week, which
Nice.
was really exciting. Uh, the title is "Things I've Learned from Launching 25 Plus Mobile Apps." And it's on my Substack, right? So that's like pretty aggressive on getting new users to subscribe. And then you told me this morning that it got picked up by something else that I've never heard
TLDR
of, but
Tech.
apparently is a thing. What is it?
TLDR Tech.
TLDR Tech. So thank you for all of those folks that are listening from there. No, but all seriousness, like very cool to see something get picked up outside of the Ruby/Rails ecosystem,
Mhm.
because that's like I'm trying to break out of that market a little bit in that audience. That's going to be my specialty still, but I want to be known more widely in the community, and getting on something that is as generic in a good way as that feels really good and really validating as to the content that I'm building and I'm writing, because I need bigger reach right now. I think that's one of my like top of funnel is one of my biggest limitations. And right now the goal of that is to get more subscribers, but if one of them turns into someone emailing me and reaching out for help with their apps, like all the better, because that's the point. That's the point of
I
putting it out there.
feel like this article that you wrote has restored my faith in humanity. And let me tell you why.
Hey, yeah, let's hear that.
Because
That's a high bar.
it's a high bar, Joe. Um, because, and maybe it's because I have spent a lot of time in like the cesspool of AI
Mm,
generated
mm,
content. So I
mm-hmm.
am almost of the take now that no one ever reads anything ever anymore. And your article, which you wrote with your own brain, has gotten such great, like it's everywhere. I feel like it's everywhere and people love it and people are talking about it. And it is so amazing to me to see that a real high quality article can still be written and still be consumed by many, many, many people.
Thanks. I appreciate that. That's good to hear, because I agree on the other end of the spectrum, or not the other side of the fence, I should say. Writing is so draining when you know that no one's reading it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And I'm on Substack and Twitter like way more than I should be, scrolling and skimming and stuff, but when I actually sit down to read an article, it's like it's more of has become more of this like ritual than just, oh, this looks interesting. And one of these days I'll actually live up to it, but reading printed articles is so nice.
Mhm.
And there was a time when I was going to my co-working space more frequently that I would like save articles throughout the week. And then on Friday or Monday, I would print them on physical paper
Huh.
and read them like with coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was such a nice experience because you were like, it was tangible. I wasn't distracted by ads or like pop-ups or, notifications or anything, but it felt so much more human to the author of I am reading your article and I'm giving it the space that it deserves. And I've stopped doing that as much because a lot of articles now that I read are like tech or code focused, and
Mhm.
it's just awkward to read code like that. But that is shifting back because code is less interesting. So I'm excited to try that again and kind of create my own weekly zine, whatever how you pronounce it, of I'm assuming zine, zine, like magazine.
ZINE. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, my own personal one that I print out at, for 15 cents a page.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. So I'll get on that again. But the real stuff this week. So I have been a mobile developer, consultant, advisor for like 10 years now, either working for a full time job or doing it on my own. And I've been focused heavily on Hotwire Native, which is a way to get your Ruby on Rails app into the app stores really quickly. And I've been building kind of like very similar things for clients for a long time. And I've realized that the hard part was never really the code for me or the clients. They hired me to write the code because they didn't want to learn it. And the hardest part was always dealing with Apple and
Mm.
dealing with uploading builds to Apple and dealing with App Store Connect and screenshots and like what is test flight? All of these things that were difficult and still are even in the age of AI because they require manual clicking around and copy pasting text into boxes and stuff that can't really be or is hard to automate. So, what I've been building over the past couple of weeks is a way to automate like all of that.
Hmm.
The idea is you have a website, you install a gem, and then you go on my tool and you click one button and it packages that into an iOS app and uploads it to TestFlight, and you can download it on your phone within like 10 or 15 minutes. And
Nice.
it's using a native tab bar, it's using push notifications, it has support for in-app purchases are coming, and it's automating all of the sticky, like icky, not sticky, icky parts of this process for web developers to do mobile development in a way where you never have to open Xcode IDE. You don't even need a Mac. You could do it on a Linux or Windows machine, which was a big limitation in the past. And I have been heads down on building this, and I am having so much fun. It has been so energizing and just like so invigorating to build out something that I've wanted to build for so long, but it never justified the development time and the debugging time in the past until now.
Wow. Okay. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been really fun, and it's one of those things where it's twofold. Like I know this audience so well. I've been dealing with Rails developers and businesses built on Rails for so long that I know where their eyes glaze over when I start to talk about certain things. It's like, well, here's the privacy policy, and make sure you have a link. And they're like, all right, whatever, Joe, just do it for us. Just do
Make
it
it
for us.
happen.
Um, and so it's like, I know exactly what features matter and what features don't, and what
Yeah.
explanations matter and what explanations don't to these potential customers. And in the past, building integrations with Apple has always been just like so much code that is hard to maintain, that I just like never really tackled it before. But now I can write 2,000 lines of code to make my product 1% better, and it
Mm-hmm.
is now worth it all of a sudden
Yeah.
because I can spin that up in like an afternoon or an hour with the right prompts and stuff.
Well, this is exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're building this. Are you building this for you? Do you think you're going to productize it? Are you not sure yet? You just wanted to see if it was possible?
Productized. This is
Ooh, yay!
100%, yeah, going
My
to
favorite.
be a productized solution for you
Yes.
have Rails business, you want App Store app. And
Yes.
it bridges that full gap for you. Like no native code, no dealing with App Store Connect outside of getting an API key, automated screenshots, automated updates. Like it does everything for you. And I'm going to be pricing it where it will be accessible to solo founders and small, like tiny companies, but also have a tier of more enterprise tier of like, you want me to deal with Apple for you. Like you got rejected. You
Yeah.
want me to message and, talk to Apple and convince them that you should be in the App Store. I'll do that for you too. So it's this awesome level of like self-serve, but also productizing my service in a way that is
Yeah.
very clear what the offering is instead of just like, I'll help you get in the App Store. It's like, no, I will deal with Apple for you.
Yeah.
And that is something where I still feel like is a big moat for me because it is such a delicate process dealing with Apple, where if you say the wrong thing once, you can get your app pulled from the App Store. I've seen it happen. And like
Yeah.
knowing, like I've submitted 30 apps, I've gotten 25 plus of them approved because I know how to talk to Apple and like deal with that. And I can still offer that as the premium tier to these folks.
Okay. So this is going to be essentially you're going to remove all of the friction for me to get an app onto the App Store. So if I do have a Rails app. I have quite a few actually. If I wanted one of those to have a mobile app,
Hmm.
could I use this product?
Yeah. Yeah. And here's the best part. There's a website, which I've not released yet, /try. And it has this big button that says download your app, essentially. So you
Okay.
click that and
Yeah.
you download a preview app onto your
Okay.
phone. Then you install the gem on your Rails app and you do, you know, gem name preview. It
Okay.
installs a Cloudflare tunnel to your locally running server and pops up a QR code. You scan the QR code with the preview app, and
Okay.
that is what your app would look like running in this shell thing that I'm building. So you
Wow.
can actually preview what your website, your Rails app would look like in like 10 minutes with, I think, like 2 lines of code changes to your existing Rails app. And you don't have to deploy it. It all runs locally,
Wow. That's
which I'm
amazing.
super excited about. Yeah, I think that is like the killer feature. It's just like gem name preview, and it just like boom, 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 does everything for you. And you
Was
scan
that
it,
a
little QR code pops up. I'm so excited about this.
was that like an infrastructure nightmare to get that set up?
Yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces. Again, something I would never have tackled before in the past because it's just
Yeah.
like, I don't know, it's like it is the product, but it also isn't the product, It's onboarding. It's
Right.
not actually used as the product. Like once
Right.
you try that once and subscribe to a plan, you'll never use that again.
Right.
But
It's almost
it's
like lead
going to
gen,
it's almost like lead gen. Yeah, and it's
right?
not gated by an account. The Ruby gem
Yeah.
is public. You can just install it if you wanted. So it's just like all these fun things that I've never even considered before, or I've considered but dismissed that I can
Yeah.
now tackle. And it has been just like, oh, it's been so much fun. I am working so much because I'm so excited. The kids go to bed. My wife goes to sleep early. I am back on my laptop, like doing more of this,
That's
for the
awesome.
first time in a long time because I'm just so
Yeah.
excited.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I know
So
it's still a secret, but like what's the light strategy here?
yeah. So it's still a secret because I want to iron out some of the rough edges before I go public
Okay.
with it.
Yeah.
So if this does sound interesting to to you as a listener, send me an email, nopermission.fm. Our emails are plastered on that, and let me know when I can set you up with like an early access account. I have a couple people using it right now on an early access thing, and I want to make sure that the whole flow of signing up, doing the /try, and getting in the App Store is as smooth as possible before I announce the URL publicly.
Sure. Yeah.
And once I have kind of critical mass with that, I will hopefully have a testimonial or two that I could throw on the website, which will be huge for social proof. And then the launch strategy begins. And that is, you know, newsletter article, hopefully something that goes on Hacker News, a developer marketing thing where I can just like send the /try as a campaign out. The domain is really good too, which I'm really excited about. So that's exciting. I also have a partnership idea with like something that's very similar for this in the PHP/Laravel world. So I want to maybe there's some cross promotion there. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of a lot of ideas in the marketing and promotion area.
Awesome. This is really exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And I think the kicker with all of this is that I will finally have almost every single price point in my offering covered
Yes.
now,
Okay.
which I've been striving for years. Like this will start at a reasonable monthly subscription. I then have my book, which is like a flat one-time purchase. I then have my Bridge Component Pro library, which is like a 3-figure one-time purchase.
Mhm.
Then I have my quarterly retainer, which is just in the like thousands of dollars. Then I have the business tier for this. Like I have something almost at every single price point. Oh, and all the way at the bottom, I have my newsletter subscription, which is just $5 a month. It's
Yeah.
like if you want to give me money, I can offer you something at every
At
single
every single
option.
price point. Here are
Which
all
I
the
think
ways
is
you can
really
give Joe
important.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
like I
is.
think is really important for a solo founder. Like I need to capture it across other developers like me, the folks that have, company money to spend, the companies themselves. It's like if I can capture from every level, it just gives my business a better chance of lasting and surviving longer and thriving.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent strategy. That makes total sense.
Yeah, so the timeline is I'm hoping that either next week or the week after on this podcast, I will have the domain publicly. I'll either have announced the public domain or I'll be announcing the public domain, and it will be open to everyone.
Okay.
But the only way I'm going to get there is if I have more people giving this early access a try. So if you want it faster, send me an email, and I'll get you on that list.
Awesome.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I feel like we both got a lot of
Yeah.
what's the analogy? Something about having things in a pot. No, irons in the. No,
Irons in the
that's
fire.
wrong. What is it?
Irons in
I
the
was gonna-
fire, I believe, is the
I was going to say
correct.
spoons in the pot, but that doesn't make any sense. So we're not sharing soup. Um, found our podcast titles,
Oh,
episode
man.
title though, so at least there's that. Oh man. On that note, want to close us out, Colleen?
Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. You can find us on the internet at nopermission.fm. Thank you so much for listening. I already said that, but you know what I mean. Bye, Joe.
Bye.